The Hollow at Blackwood Manor, Chapter 1. The Invitation. My name is Emma Carter, a journalist with a penchant for the unexplained. Last summer, I received an email that would change my life forever. It was from a man named Arthur Blackwood, inviting me to his family estate in the remote hills of northern Massachusetts. The email was cryptic, mentioning only that the Blackwood Manor held secrets that defy reason and that he needed someone with an open mind to document them. As a skeptic who chased ghost stories for a living, I was intrigued. I packed my notebook, recorder, and camera and set off for the manor. The journey was long and winding, through dense forests where the sunlight barely pierced the canopy. By the time I reached Blackwood Manor, it was dusk. The house loomed like a shadow against the crimson sky, a sprawling Gothic structure with cracked stone walls, ivy choking its facade, and windows that stared like empty eyes. Arthur greeted me at the door, a frail man in his 60s with sunken cheeks and a nervous smile. "You came," he said, his voice trembling. "Not many would." It's Chapter 2. The First Night. Arthur led me through the manor's creaking halls, past portraits of stern-faced ancestors whose eyes seemed to follow us. He explained that Blackwood Manor had been in his family for over 2 centuries, built by his great-great-grandfather, Ezekiel Blackwood, a reclusive scholar obsessed with the occult. "The house has a presence," Arthur said, pausing at the foot of a grand staircase. "It watches, listens." That night, I settled into a guest room on the 2nd floor. The air was heavy, the silence oppressive. I tried to dismiss Arthur's words as the ramblings of a lonely man, but sleep wouldn't come. Around midnight, I heard a faint tapping, like fingernails on glass. I checked the window, but it was locked tight. The tapping grew louder, coming from the walls now, rhythmic and insistent. I grabbed my recorder and pressed it against the wall. When I played it back, my breath caught. Beneath the tapping was a voice, soft and guttural, whispering, "Find me. Find me." Chapter 3. The Hidden Room. The next morning, I confronted Arthur about the noises. His face paled, and he led me to the library, a cavernous room filled with dusty tomes and strange artifacts. He pulled a book from the shelved, leather-bound journal belonging to Ezekiel Blackwood. The pages were filled with frantic scrawls about a hollow beneath the manor, a place where the veil between worlds is thin. Ezekiel claimed he had opened a door to something ancient, something that demanded a price. The final entry read, "It has taken her. I cannot undo what I've done." "Her?" I asked. Arthur hesitated before answering. "My sister, Clara. She vanished in this house when we were children. I've heard her voice ever since." He pointed to a faded photograph on the wall, a young girl with pale hair and haunting eyes. My stomach churned. The voice from my recorder sounded young, like a child's. That afternoon, I explored the manor's lower levels, determined to find answers. In the basement, behind a rusted iron gate, I discovered a hidden door carved with strange symbols. It took all my strength to pry it open. Beyond was a spiral staircase descending into darkness. My flashlight flickered as I stepped inside, the air growing colder with each step. At the bottom was a circular chamber, its walls etched with runes that pulsed faintly as if alive. In the center stood a stone altar, stained with something dark. Chapter 4. The hollow awakens. As I approached the altar, my flashlight died. The darkness was suffocating, but I could feel something watching me. Then came the whispers, not one voice, but many, overlapping in a cacophony of despair. "Find me, free us, it hungers." I stumbled backward, my hand brushing the altar. The runes on the walls flared red, and the ground trembled. A shape emerged from the shadows, a figure that was both Clara and not Clara. Her face was hers, but her eyes were hollow voids, and her mouth stretched unnaturally wide as she screamed. I ran, my heart pounding as the whispers chased me up the stairs. The door slammed shut behind me, but the manor itself seemed to shift. Hallways twisted, doors led to nowhere, and Clara's face appeared in every mirror I passed. I found Arthur in the library, clutching Ezekiel's journal. "You opened it," he shouted, the Hollowitz awake. He explained that Ezekiel had summoned something from another realm, an entity that fed on souls. Clara was his first victim, trapped in the hollow to keep the entity sated. But now my presence had stirred it. "It wants you," Arthur whispered. "Unless we give it someone else." Chapter 5. The Price of Escape. Arthur's words hung in the air as the manor groaned around us. The lights flickered, and Clara's voice echoed through the walls. Now joined by others, men, women, children, all pleading for release. I realized the truth. The Blackwood family had been sacrificing people to the hollow for generations, keeping it dormant. Arthur's eyes gleamed with desperation. "I'm sorry," he said, pulling a knife from his coat. I bolted, dodging through the maze of corridors as Arthur pursued me. The manor seemed to aid him, doors locking in my face, floors buckling beneath me. I reached the grand staircase, but Clara's form appeared at the top, her hollow eyes fixed on me. "Stay," she hissed, her voice no longer human. I screamed and threw my camera at her, the flash bursting as it struck. She recoiled, and I seized my chance, racing for the front door. Outside, the forest was alive with whispers, but I didn't stop. I ran until my lungs burned, until the manor was a distant shadow. I flagged down a passing truck and collapsed in the passenger seat, sobbing. The driver asked what happened, but I couldn't speak. I never returned to Blackwood Manor, and Arthur was never found. Epilogue. The echoes back in the city. I tried to move on. I burned Ezekiel's journal, which I'd taken in my escape, but the whispers followed me. At night, I hear Clara's voice, soft and pleading. My recorder, which I thought I'd lost, appeared on my desk one morning. When I played it, the whispers were clearer. "You left us. It's still hungry. I don't sleep much anymore. I keep my lights on, afraid of what lurks in the dark." Last week, I found a new email in my inbox from an address I didn't recognize. It contained a single line: "The Hollow is waiting." Attached was a photo of Blackwood Manor, taken from the forest. In the window of my old guest room, a pale face stared out, its hollow eyes locked on the camera.